down at the bottom of the hill where the spring is, we had a wooden bridge. And Thomas Maguire built that bridge. And the house was built in 1825. And I guess the bridge was, he built that on because when they marched to sea, they used that bridge to go across on. And after that, you didn't have no bridges there. No Business Creek didn't have a bridge. And that's what Norris Lake is now.
Right.
The No Business Creek. And in that Norris Lake, it wasn't a bridge there. They crossed the Henry Road, came across there and on out to back into 124. And it just wasn't no bridges around. The Humphreys and the...
So you bought the Thomas Maguire plantation house.
No, my dad did.
Your dad bought it.
He bought it in 1920.
In 1920.
And he paid $2,500 for it, cash.
And how much land came with that?
Well, he thought it was 100 acres, more or less. But when I came back in 66, I had a surveyor off from Centerville. When that county surveyor, he was a surveyor for the county. And when he surveyed it, it was 110 acres.
Okay.
But it never had been surveyed until I had it surveyed in 67. And then we let the Masons and the Dobbs and the Jenkins have 38 acres of it. Because my dad and Ernest Mason, which was one of the Mason boys, Jim Mason's brother, which was Wayne Winston's father.
Exactly.
And Ernest Mason, because Hubert Mason lived there, and I used to play with his son, who was a doctor, Miles Mason. We played in the old road. Miles Mason was a doctor, and he has a place in Lawrenceville now, but I think he passed away, didn't he? Miles Mason.
Miles Mason Jr. passed away.
Oh.
You've still got Miles Mason, the third.
Third, oh, okay.
Up there.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him, but I knew Miles Mason and I, Dr. Mason, I guess you said, we played together in the old road going through there. And there was a sawmill up between the old road and the other road, the farm, the farm came, our farm went around on that side, and the sawmill set in between. And that, where the old road was, they moved it over to that side. And it forked into each other, and our line goes right across, right at the Mason's mailbox, and goes up to where the Paul Mason property was. That was the brother to Ernest Mason.
Mm-hmm. And
it went down into the flat there, and we had a stream of water down there. And at the Mason house there, they have a monument out there, a tower. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but they were pumping water from down in the lower end of our property up all the way to the Mason's monument, and it pumped it on top, and had a big top on that held water, and also had a door underneath there. You can walk into the shower, into the monument, just in a door, and it had water where you could take a shower in there. And they ran the water to the house that's still sitting up there now, where Herb Jenkins last lived in it. And Erna Lee, who was one of the daughters of Ernest Mason,
I remember
she
her.
lived there. And then his Herb Mason's son and his ex-wife, they still live right next door to the home place there. And he's a big guy. His name is Mason, but his dad was Hubert Jenkins. I don't know which one. They have a different way of pronouncing Herbert and Hubert.
Right, and his father was Chief Jenkins.
Chief Jenkins, yes.
Yes.
Chief of Police of Atlanta.
That's right, for years.
Oh yeah, I guess 30 years or more.
At least 30 years.
Oh yeah, 30. And this road, just one single road, And in the wintertime, it get rain and snow. We had snow back then too.
Right.
You could run rabbits in And if you could run fast, it was deep enough you could catch a rabbit in the snow. If you had a rabbit box sitting out for that. But Christmas time, we was got to worry about how Santa Claus gonna be able to get here with our toys and whatever we got. When they get that minute with the fruit and stuff, we did have fruit, and my mama would make those good old cakes 2 weeks before Christmas, and they lasted too. I don't know if one lasted that long, maybe. But they put this coconut on it, and it was just natural good, and it lasted that long. And the crumbs are better than the cake.
That's true. Now, tell me this: Promised Land. When did the term Promised Land come in?
Maguire came from Ireland. That's what he called it. He had rather 1,000 acres of land, and he called it the Promised Land because he had 3 porches on the house where he built, and he could stand on each porch and look all around them 1,000 acres of land that he had. And he called it the Promised Land.
Does the house still have 3 porches?
Well, we closed in.
But you made room.
Still got, well, not a back porch anymore, but we had the front and this porch here on the side.
On the side, okay. So the Promised Land, that title has been around now for 150 years or more.
Right, he's the one that named it, from the Promised Land.
And it still carries on that tradition today.
And everything that I built, I called it the Promised Land Car Wash, the Promised Land Restaurant, Promised Land Grocery.
you are the mayor of Promised Land.
Well, that's what one of the missus said. He brought that picture there on the wall, and he called Promised Land Mayor, no politics.
And the truth be known, any politician in Gwinnett County, anybody who's going to represent this area down here, always needs to come and meet you.
They all come, but if I tell one that I'm gonna support him, I wasn't wishy-washy, and I went for sale.